Have you ever found yourself stuck in a loop of negative thoughts, where everything feels overwhelming, hopeless, and out of your control? Maybe you woke up feeling like the day ahead would be a repeat of the last, or a small mistake at work made you feel like you were doomed to fail forever. This kind of thinking can have a powerful impact on your emotional well-being and happiness. The problem lies not in the events themselves, but in how we interpret them. These are called cognitive distortions, faulty ways of thinking that rob us of our joy and mental peace. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She had always been a hard worker, dedicated to her job, but lately she felt like everything was slipping through her fingers. One small critique from her boss about a project she worked on sent her mind spiraling. In her thoughts, it wasn't just a single piece of feedback. It was proof that she wasn't good enough and might never succeed. She began to replay the situation over and over, thinking she had failed in every area of her life. This is the power of cognitive distortions, and Sarah wasn't alone. We all experience them, and they can lead us down a dark path if we don't recognize and challenge them. Cognitive distortions are ways of thinking that twist reality and contribute to negative emotions. They can cloud your judgment and make you feel trapped in a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction and despair. There are 3 particularly sneaky cognitive distortions that steal our happiness. Let's look at them, how they work, and how you can fight back to regain control over your mind and emotions. The first cognitive distortion Sarah was caught in is called overgeneralization. It's the tendency to take one event and make sweeping conclusions based on it. In Sarah's case, one piece of feedback made her believe that she would never succeed again. Overgeneralization takes one small incident and blows it out of proportion, leading you to think that one failure means more will follow, or that one negative outcome defines your entire future. Sarah was convinced that because one project didn't go well, she was doomed to fail in everything she did. This kind of thinking traps you in a negative cycle. Instead of seeing the event as a learning experience or a small setback, overgeneralization convinces you that your entire life is full of disappointments. This can be emotionally draining, leaving you feeling hopeless and defeated. But here's the good news. You can break free from overgeneralization. The first step is to challenge these negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking that one event represents the end of everything, pause and ask yourself, is this true? Is it really possible that this one experience defines my entire future? More often than not, you'll realize that the answer is no. Life is full of ups and downs, and one failure doesn't mean more failures are coming. Next, let's talk about catastrophizing. This is when you imagine the worst possible outcome and treat it as if it's inevitable. Sarah, after receiving her critique, began to think she would get fired, then lose her job, and then never find work again. Her mind jumped from a small moment of feedback to imagining a total disaster. Catastrophizing takes something minor and blows it up into a catastrophic event that feels uncontrollable. The danger of catastrophizing is that it creates unnecessary stress and anxiety. When you're constantly preparing for the worst, you can lose sight of reality and miss the opportunities right in front of you. The good news is that you can break this pattern by grounding yourself in reality. Ask yourself, what is the most likely outcome here? Am I jumping to conclusions without all the facts? By taking a step back and focusing on the facts, you can stop the cycle of catastrophic thinking and regain your peace of mind. The third cognitive distortion that robs you of happiness is personalization. This is when you take responsibility for events outside of your control, leading you to believe that everything that goes wrong is somehow your fault. Sarah's self-criticism reached an extreme, and she began to believe that if her boss wasn't happy with the project, it was a reflection of her entire worth as a person. She blamed herself for everything that went wrong, even things she couldn't possibly control. Personalization often leads to guilt and shame, even when the events have little or nothing to do with you. It can make you feel like you're constantly failing and that you're the cause of any problems around you. In Sarah's case, she took responsibility for something that wasn't entirely within her control. Recognizing when you're personalizing events and understanding that not everything is your fault is key to freeing yourself from this distortion. The solution to personalization lies in practicing self-compassion. Instead of blaming yourself for everything, remind yourself that no one is perfect, and you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Focus on what you can control and forgive yourself for things outside your influence. As renowned psychologist Dr. Kristin Neff puts it, self-compassion is simply giving yourself the same kindness and care you give to a good friend. These three cognitive distortions, overgeneralization, catastrophizing, and personalization, are common traps that keep us stuck in negative thinking. But you don't have to remain trapped in them. There are ways to challenge and reframe these thoughts. When you catch yourself overgeneralizing, catastrophizing, or personalizing, stop and ask yourself if the thoughts are really true. Practice grounding yourself in reality, and always show yourself kindness and understanding. Research supports the idea that changing negative thought patterns can significantly improve mental health. A study published in the Journal of Cognitive Therapy and Research found that individuals who were trained to recognize and challenge cognitive distortions showed improved mood and lower levels of anxiety and depression. This approach, known as cognitive behavioral thinking, CBT, has helped countless individuals regain control of their thoughts and emotions. You have the power to change your thinking and reclaim your happiness. The key is awareness. By recognizing the cognitive distortions that are stealing your peace and actively working to shift them, you can find a path to greater emotional freedom. Just like Sarah, who learned to challenge her negative thoughts, you can turn the page and start writing a new, more positive chapter in your life. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "We are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." It's time to take control of your thoughts and take back your happiness.